Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this got solving compound inequalities, part 2, solve and graph. So if you see something like this, that's called a compound inequality. It's got 2 parts to it. And so there's an example in your homework of a real life problem that would deal with this. Yes, ma'am. Turn off the lights, please. Yeah. Gosh, throw this away. Is that better? Yeah. That's a lot better. Okay. So I solved this just like as if I were solving a plain old inequality equation. So what would I do to solve this part?
Divide by 5.
Yep, I divide this 1 by 5, divide this 1 by 5. I get x is less than 2, and
Hey, those are both.
what do I do over here? Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, I think I got it.
You got it? Did you read the user's manual? X is less than 2, okay? And I subtract 3 from both sides, and x is greater than or equal to negative 2. When I graph that, I'm going to make a number line, okay? Arrows on both ends. And then greater than or equal to negative 2. Greater than or equal to negative 2 would be down here, right? And working its way up. And less than positive 2 would be over here and working its way down. Okay? So where is the solution that's both of those things? In the middle, right? Right in here would be your solution. This shaded area, including this endpoint. How would I write that in interval notation? Charlie, how would I write that in interval notation? Okay. How would I write this in interval notation? Go ahead, Quinn.
It would just be the bar.
Yep.
And then negative 2.
Good.
Comma 2. And like the curve.
Perfect. Okay. So negative 2 up to 2, not including 2, but including negative 2. That's how you'd write it with the bar. All right. In set builder notation, okay, you would write it like this: curvy bracket x bar. X is greater than or equal to negative 2, and x is less than positive 2. Like that. You get those 3 ways to write it? Number line, interval, set builder, like that. Okay? Ready to do another one? Should be taking some notes, people. Okay? Piece of paper, pencil. Okay? What are you here for? I'm not here to entertain you. I know I'm an entertaining guy. So you should be writing some stuff down. Come on, Will. Get a piece of paper out. Write some stuff down. Whether or not you think it helps, it does help to write things down. Makes it stick in your brain a little bit better. Plus, you can refer back to your notes once in a while. Okay? And based on the last quiz, it's not like you guys are all blowing this material away. Okay? What if I were asked to solve this one? Number 2. So sometimes they write an inequality like this: 3x minus 1 less than or equal to 2, and greater than or equal to negative 13. And they say solve. So you solve this thing just like you're solving an inequality, except you have to do things to 3 parts of the equation. So who could tell me what would be my first step? What would be my first step? Go ahead, David. What? I thought you had your hand up. Oh, well, tell me anyway. What's my first step? Add 1, okay? But when I add 1,
to the left.
I add it to all 3 places, okay? So I have to add 1 here, I have to add 1 here, and I have to add 1 there. So then I get 3x is less than or equal to 3, and whoops, I forgot the x, and greater than or equal to negative 12. Now what? Charlie? Divide everything by 3. So you divide this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. And you get x greater than or equal to negative 4 less than or equal to 1. On a number line, that looks like, okay? I mean, that's almost set builder notation right there. If I want to put it in set builder notation, I'd go x bar, and I'd have little curvy brackets on the end, okay? If I wanted to put it on the number line, I put 0 here, negative 4 down here, 1 up here, and square brackets, and I'd shade in between, right? And then interval notation, it would look like negative 4 up to 1 inclusive. That's called inclusive when you put the square brackets. Okay? Can you do that? Okay, got a couple more. 2 more, and then we're done. Okay? Can I move on? Okay. So next one we have is 2 minus x. Whoa, what happened? 2 minus x is greater than 1, or 4x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 7. So again, you can't really work with one part. You just have to work with each part separately. And then at the end, you kind of put them together. Okay? So my first step here would be, what do you think? What would be my first step there? What do you think would be my first step here? Yes, Chase. Subtract 2 from both sides. Very good. Okay? Let's just solve this side. So that gives me negative x greater than or equal to negative 1. Now what, Chase? Divide x by negative 1. Okay? And what happens when I divide it by negative 1? It flips sign, so I get x is less than positive 1. Right? Because negative 1 divided. Now let's go to this one. Who can tell me how to solve that? Ian, you want to tell me?
Add 9.
Yeah, add 9, add 9. And for x, that goes away, is greater than or equal to 16. Then what? Keep
Divide
going.
each side by 4.
Divide each side by 4. Okay? X is greater than or equal to 4. And then you have to figure out how this thing looks when I graph it. I think the best thing is to graph it first and then write it in either set builder or interval notation. So x is less than 1 would go this way, right? Oops, curvy bracket, yes? Curvy bracket, x is less than 1, or x is greater than 4, greater than or equal to 4. And that's a 4. Okay? In interval notation, well, first of all, set builder notation would just look like this. You put an or in between, and then you go x bar over here, and then you'd put that over there. That's set builder notation. X is less than 1, or x is greater than 4. To write it in interval notation, it would look like this. Negative infinity up to 1, curvy bracket, union of square bracket 4 up to positive infinity. Do you guys understand what I just did? Okay? Because this goes from negative infinity up to 1, not including 1. And this goes from 4 up to infinity, where you can't put a bracket on infinity. You got that, Akash? You good? Got that, Mandy? All right, one more. Tira, what you doing down there? Nothing. Okay, last one. What if we set, ooh, this one's hard. Maybe you guys could try to do it. Let's have you try. Okay? So here we go. You try. I like to call it you try. Okay? 4x plus 2. 4x plus 2 divided by 3 is greater than 6. Or negative 3x minus 1 divided by 2 is less than, what's that say, negative 8. Try to do that, do the graph for that, and then try to do it, try to write it in interval notation as well. Okay? There you go. I'm waiting for you, Jake. Oops. Are you ready? I talked for oh. Shoot! I wasn't recording during that last thorough explanation. So you can look at this nice explanation of that last problem. And that's a 2 there, by the way. And you can see how I did it. Okay, the end. Bye.